quite an interesting game between Przemek and Cassian. Cassian takes black, Przemek takes white, and Cassian plays 2-5-4 Takamoku and has a plan for them. But before we move to Takamoku, now black played this slide on the second line instead of the usual Joseki. The usual Joseki is better because now the J3 stone stands in a bit uncomfortable distance. It's too close to choose this variation, but also too far to leave it without reaction because there is a big weakness. So we need to choose one of these two possibilities, and also a bit too far to leave it like this. We need to choose one of these options, but none of them is ideal. But instead, black slides down on the second line. All right, it's not really a mistake. And then white thought that, oh, black didn't play the Hane Connect, so now we can play here. But this was not a good idea for white. Yeah, black's corner gets smaller, but black gets stronger on the outside. And actually there is a lot of agi of that stone on the bottom. So how to play instead? Before we play this move, we should attach here, kick here. This is the usual way. Black would usually answer to this move, and then and only then we play these moves. So now this is a very comfortable exchange, this AB, and yeah, black gets a stone at C, but in the game, instead of these 3 stones, we just have this 1 stone. This looks much better for black. So remember to kick first. And of course, if black answers differently, then we will think that, oh, maybe we can now play this one or something else. Okay. In the game, it ends up like this. White doesn't add a move, but the agi is quite serious. Black can split white like this, and yeah, white will be in trouble. So actually, for the next many moves, there is this agi standing here, and black could have tried it. But for now, black shows us his plan for white's approach to Takamoku. And black plays a move from my dream. The move from my dream is here. I dreamt this move many years ago. And more specifically, I dreamt a bit different position. I dreamt such a position with this continuation. Actually, this last move is not really amazing. White can simply answer from the other side. But anyway, it's a cool idea to play here. Then white didn't want to go through. I don't know why white did not like it. What exactly is it? Which white is afraid of? Maybe black can play like this, but anyway, it's a normal result. But white, of course, can also play in the corner, and white plays here. And then black cuts white. Yeah, and we end up in a very complicated variation. So it's risky to play this attachment if you haven't studied this shape, and probably your opponent did study it if they played that Hazama, elephant's eye. White extends, and now white plays in the corner. This is completely not the right timing because it's not about living with white's group. Black can easily let white live, and this happened in the game. But yeah, white doesn't even want to take this stone from in the corner because it's indeed quite small. So instead, white needs to keep extending, and if black plays here, then we can already capture black in a ladder. So black needs to play this one, and then, well, then it will be a difficult fight, which we need to somehow embrace. I don't know, maybe play like this. Or if we don't want this fight, then we have also another option. We can Atari first and then extend, then it's a different fight. Then we are not yet completely surrounded, but yeah, I am also not sure what exactly to expect. Will black push now or not? So in the game, white chooses a very wrong timing for playing in the corner, and then black gets an advantage. This is very comfortable for black, and now very good decision for black not adding a move on the top. Certainly we don't want to play here. Of course, for sure, no, because this is stronger than this. So why would we play closer to these stones just because this is a move from the Joseki book? Well, it doesn't apply to such a situation. So we could play here. This would make sense, but still it would feel a bit over concentrated. In fact, if we want to play on the top side, it's better to jump high and try to build a really big box like this, later maybe cut here and build a very big box. But black doesn't do anything, and it also makes sense because even if white pincers black, it will be difficult for white to fight thanks to black's strength on the other side. Black approaches white's shape. Good move. White answers. Oh, these are good moves by black, I think. Jump, yeah. Black is basically preparing to pull out the stone on the bottom. Black could have pulled it out even now. It's very severe, but black doesn't want to start a fight after getting such a comfortable result on the top. And black does it now. And well, yeah, it's correct to do it. Here, good move, this double hane, because this is white center, so we can afford a double hane. And peep, atari, and another peep. Very important to play this peep. If we just played that other peep, white, well, actually white would play here. If black connects, white plays here. If black ataris now, white will not answer. White will play something like this and start this call. This call is difficult for black because if white wins, black is split completely and in a very bad position. But even if black wins, it's not really terrible for white. It's some capturing race. Even if white loses it, white gets a lot on the outside. So important to play the atari first, because now for sure white will answer. And only then here, and white plays atari on the outside and connects. Yes, makes sense. This is an important move to comment on. It looks like the most natural move in the game of Go, but it's a mistake because we want to attack the group of black. This group of black, certainly not these stones. That's why we should lean on these stones to attack the group on the bottom. So the correct move of white would be A, or maybe even B if we are not afraid of black cutting us off, which we don't necessarily need to be afraid of. But yeah, this is the calm version. If black plays from that side, we put a lot of pressure on black's stones on the bottom. If black answers on the bottom, then we put a lot of pressure on the group which we actually want to attack. Or like this would be just white's dream, black getting, how is it called? What do you give to a fish to capture it, and then the fish just takes the bait, and you get what you really want, which is strength against the group which you wanted to attack in the first place. White, however, attached, and black got strong. But here black should have probably connected solidly or somehow differently, because after this move, black's shape started looking weak, and in fact white had a Tesuji which white missed. It was possible to play here. And this move splits black. Black can try to continue the fight, but black will die inside. So this was a chance for white, which unfortunately white missed. White pushed here instead, tried to somehow differently use weaknesses of black's shape, but ended up in Gote. Now white needs to add a move. So it was not really a success. Also the group on the other side is a bit thin. Unless white can manage to get this exchange first, this would be very good for white to get this exchange first, but white actually cannot. White played this move. It seems that black needs to answer, but black was very cautious and didn't miss the opportunity to cut off white, and now white is close to dying. Actually, if white now cuts black like this, white dies, white loses the capturing race by 1 liberty. But white can save the stones if white plays here. Then if black still splits white has black has 1 liberty less than in the other variation, and white wins the capturing race. So black would need to play here, white plays here. Still black is satisfied with the overall result. White connected on the first line, and black has center, but it's acceptable for white. But in the game, white tried to go for this variation, but it simply doesn't work. So the game became very bad for white. Unfortunate that white didn't read this capturing race before playing it. It might have seemed good for white because white has 6 liberties and black has 6 liberties, but it's always a bit tricky. The things on the first line, when you have more than 1 stone on the second line, then your descent to the first line is an empty triangle. It takes away your liberty, and black's descent was not an empty triangle. It did not take away black's liberty. So black could afford to play this descent, white could not, and this way white is dying. So it will go like this, 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 and this. White can do nothing about it, so white decides to sacrifice the stones. But yeah, black already is very much ahead. This is a very important shape vital point. Black might answer maybe in an active manner. Well, black is good in this game, so black doesn't really need to attack everything of white. It's enough to take a bit. So white didn't secure the shape on the right side, but then black cut white. And here was another chance. Here actually is better. Black already made black invested something on the right side, so now it's actually quite pleasant to take the right side, giving up the bottom, but white tries to go for all. But then this was a good decision of black not to play Atari like this, which seems more proper, but go like this to get more stones pressuring the group of white on the bottom. And now white is really in trouble on the bottom. I think that white even died here. Yeah, white died. It's a 1 liberty difference. So white played here and then realized that black can capture the group, so white resigned. But it should have gone like this. White plays here, and then white is left with 5 liberties. Black also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. White loses the capturing race. Yeah, was there a chance to still save the group now? Well, certainly a good chance was at this stage, because white could have cut off the group of black. I guess white didn't do it because it's not center, so it seems that why should we do such a thing if black doesn't need to answer? But where does black play? If black plays on the outside to enclose us, then we get all these moves in center. Maybe we can even do better. This would be cool if we can first play here and then this. Then this, yeah, this is possible. So then white is easily alive. And then if black plays, if black somehow tries to take care of the bottom side, play here, then white can cut through. If black plays here, white goes out, most probably. And if black plays something like this, then actually black is in trouble. So because there are 2 groups which white can threaten, it's not a problem that the move itself is not center. It has 2 continuations. So yeah, this way white could have lived, but in the game white missed that opportunity to cut black, and white ends up without ice and with not enough liberties to win the capturing race. So this is all about this game. Well, two mistakes of white, first in that top right corner and then the second one on the bottom, just a blunder. That's all about this game, and we will move to the next one.